I want to ask you about the president's continued attack on the U.S. election. And we had yesterday, again, a senior official from the Trump administration, Chris Krebs, who led the effort to protect this election, saying in no uncertain terms there were no votes flipped by a foreign power or domestic power. Yet Trump continues his attack on the election. What damage is he doing to U.S. elections with those attacks?
Well, I think he's doing damage both on the domestic front as well as on the international front. On the domestic front, I think he really is fueling suspicions, unwarrantedly so, in the minds of a lot of Americans about the integrity of this election. But I think Chris Krebs and a lot of the other cybersecurity professionals in this administration did their very best to protect the integrity of the election. So therefore, I think he's sowing the seeds of doubt in a lot of Americans about what actually happened in this election, as well as then in future elections. On the international stage, I think he really is, disparaging our ability to carry out these free and fair elections. And so the United States, the world's, oldest democracy, really should set the example for the transitions of power from one person or party to another. I am concerned because when the president of the United States, Donald Trump, he speaks, he has a voice that is heard throughout this country, and it is resonant among those elements that really do believe that he was defrauded. Well, he really wasn't. He wasn't at all. And so therefore, will they take to the streets? Will they potentially use violence? I hope not. Thankfully, they have not done that so far. And I do hope that calmer heads will prevail and that Congressman Riegleman and others will try to calm down these concerns that Donald Trump, unfortunately, is escalating.
You served for decades as an intelligence officer, of course, led the CIA as well, as Russia was attacking this country's elections here. Have you, in your time, witnessed a foreign disinformation operation as damaging as the one we're seeing coming from the president and his allies right now?
I used to think that the Russians were the world's most sophisticated and expert sources of disinformation. But unfortunately, I think Donald Trump and a lot of people of his ilk, his supporters, have now demonstrated that they are able to just consume the airwaves with these claims and allegations that are totally baseless and specious. And so I think that Donald Trump certainly has exceeded the ability of the Russians to influence the minds, the ideas, and even the votes of the American people as he continues upon this very unfortunate disinformation campaign.